We often hear about people complaining with regard to the non-settlement or unsettled claims. I don't know why. Why do people complain about these unsettled claims?
This is a general question mark about insurance as a whole. I mean, a lot of people think insurance companies usually try to avoid when it comes to a claim settlement. But as I mentioned earlier, I told you that in Sri Lanka insurance you pay something like 18 million claims a day.
Yeah.
That is because we never try to avoid paying a claim. But what happens in these isolated cases where customers go through the hassle of debating a claim, it is always because the policy does not cover what you are looking for. Because when you get an insurance policy, it is very important to discuss at the beginning as to what you are trying to get protection for.
Okay.
Because there are so many different aspects that you want to be covered for. For example, if you are insuring your house, you may want to cover it for fire, you may want to cover it for burglary, you may cover it want to cover it for earthquake. And you need to make sure that you are covered for all these things if you want to get protection for all these things. So more often than not, the debate occurs when you have bought a policy and you suddenly find the particular incident that you are discussing is not covered in the policy.
So what you're saying that a straightforward insurance policy to cover your vehicle, it doesn't, if you have an insurance policy, it doesn't mean that that you are protected against floods or riots, things like that. You have to specifically ask for that particular.
Well, generally, when you talk about comprehensive motor insurance policy, most of the items are covered. But then there may be different aspects that you want to cover. For example, riots could be a different thing. Right. So motor probably is an easier thing to understand, but there are the other types of insurance like fire, like house insurance. Those are the areas where there may be things that you want to specifically cover yourself for, which may not be covered in a basic policy.
Okay.
So you need to negotiate with your broker or the insurance advisor and find out whether these things are covered.
So really the insurance advisor, as you said, or the broker should be explaining clearly to the prospective customer about the policy that he or she is taking.
Two sides, the broker or the advisor has to explain to the customer what is covered for. Okay. At the same time, the customer also has a responsibility to ask the right question. Right. That is where the education issue comes. Right. If the customers are properly educated, they will know what to ask for.
Right. Nalaka, we've got about another nearly 3 minutes. Tell me, finally, what are the future plans? What do you have in the pipeline for a Sri Lankan public?
As you know, on the 4th of June this year, Sri Lanka Insurance was taken over again by the government. Now today we are a state-owned insurance company. One of our primary objectives at this stage is to increase the penetration levels of insurance. Correct. Because we truly believe insurance is something that is good for the nation, good for a family, good for a business, good for economy. How? Because if the family is protected, it never becomes a burden to the society.
Sure.
If a business is protected, it never becomes a burden to the economy. That is why we need to promote insurance as much as possible. So being the state-owned insurance company, we are trying to do as much as we could to increase the awareness of insurance and increase the penetration levels. So even our product portfolio management, our sales channels, our marketing and everything will be directed towards this objective.